We're meeting on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. in City Hall on first floor conference room, Tuesday, February 6th, 2018. Before we get going here, we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Scott Kellogg, Alderman.
Joe Terry, Director of Public Works.
Paul Shabilsky, City Clerk.
Joe Eichstead, City Engineer.
Steve Culp, Alderman.
All right. Item 1, review the DPW report.
So you should have received a copy of the report. I will forward a copy on to the to RCCA, and we'll get this published on our city website. Just like to point out a few highlights. Want to recognize Wayne Vandenberg, works in our Parks group, is retiring after 32 years of service. Couple updates on some of our project design work. We have a DOT project at the intersection of Seneca Road and 2nd Avenue. We attended the 30% plan meeting on, it's actually on February 1st. That construction project is anticipated for 2020. The city's obligation is just a small portion of the design, so I think we're estimating $5,000, and we're partnering with the Village of Port Edwards on that project. On the East Grand Avenue project, the public information meeting is set for February 13th from 5 to 6:30. Our Quinnell Creek dredging project, city crews began pumping water down in January. We've got a corduroy road built out across the ice, and we will be beginning that dredging operation yet this week. Our 2018 reconstruction projects, our plan preparation is nearing 90% complete. Our 29th Avenue storm sewer replacement plans are complete. Our right-of-way plat is being developed for property acquisition along High Street for our TLEs. For our 2019 projects, our 7th Street design is 90% complete. That's for our 2019 projects. I'm really excited about that. Preliminary resolutions were sent along with the East Grand Avenue project, so those property owners are familiar with that, and we have an open house scheduled for February 13th from 5 to 6, so we'll kill two birds with one stone there. Washington Street design is 75% complete. That continues the project that we finished off this year. That'll be a 2020 or a 2020 build. And our 10th Street sidewalk project is currently about 30% complete. We in here it was pre-tense, it's past tense as of today, but the East Riverbank Trail bids have been opened, and we have an apparent low bidder. We had a meeting with the DNR and the Army Corps of Engineers on the permitting. The DNR has failed to meet their statutory obligations, so the city believes that by default that permit's been issued. But we do have some things to take care of with the Army Corps of Engineers to satisfy their requirements, so we still have some work to do there. With some of our streets work, one of the questions that has come up is some of the brush along the riverbank. That cutting project's been underway, and riverbank cutting on the east side is complete. The west side is nearly complete. I expect that we should be finishing that up in the month of February.
That's good.
For wastewater, the west side lift station and force main construction bids have been accepted. Apparent low bidder is Myron Construction for the lift station and A1 Excavating for the force main. I expect that project to begin this spring. And the remaining of the items listed in the Public Works report will be posted on the city's website.
All right, any questions or comments by anybody?
I'm glad Joe Eichstead met with the Mayor's Beautification Council and shared the plans, the tentative plans with regard to East Grand. And I want to thank you to do that, because they're trying to bring in green, trees and maybe benches and stuff, so it's just not all concrete. And he mentioned that they'll come back to the mayor's beautification council in the near future with regard to spaces that are eligible to be able to do that. But I think that's one step to make it a pleasant road going down to the lakefront. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. Well, item 2, review and consider approval of preliminary resolutions for municipal improvements, including sanitary and water leads, curb and gutter, sidewalk, permanent street surfacing, and concrete driveway approaches on A, Chase Street between 17th Avenue North and 21st Avenue North, and B, Washington Street between 12th Street North and 315 feet east of 18th Street North.
So both of those projects, I believe we had preliminary resolutions passed on both of those already. So it's bringing them back to the committee for reapproval under the new assessment procedures. So with the new assessment procedures, once the preliminary resolution is passed, within 10 days of passage of that, the engineering department sends out and make notice to the property owners of the estimated amount of assessments, and that what the project timeline is, what the project is from street to street, and provides that upfront notification to them within 10 days. So.
The Chase Street project was initially in the capital improvement plan for 2018, but due to budget constraints and the staff's ability to perform that project this year, it's been held off, and we will be proposing that then for 2019. It's still a priority project. It's a high priority for the water utility due to some water main concerns there, as well as for the city Public Works Department for street surfacing. The Washington Street project was determined to be a priority primarily due to the poor condition of the sanitary sewer, and the soonest that project could really take place within our current financial and staff constraints is 2020. And so staff design on that's about 75% complete, but in order to comply with our new policy, we're looking to reapprove the preliminary resolution.
Well, I'm in agreement, but the B one, is that worded right? I've been looking at this.
12th
East-
Street,
East of,
18th Street. So it's just, yeah.
that's past 18th, so is that right? Or am I
It is.
looking at it wrong?
No, you're looking at it correctly.
Oh, I am. That
Yeah,
is right.
Just
Yeah.
past 18th Street.
Okay. Just
Yeah,
looks
there's-
like too far, 315 feet east of it. Okay.
It's a little bit longer block there.
Okay,
and there's
yeah, I was thinking
concrete- Concrete
lot
pavement
longer
that
than that.
starts
Yeah,
up
okay.
as it kind of
Yeah,
transitions
yeah.
into.
And I looked on the map too, yeah, okay. Well, at least I'm satisfied. Right.
Yeah, no problem.
Questions, anybody? No. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary resolution for A, Chase Street, for the municipal improvements. A, Chase Street between 17th Avenue North and 21st Avenue North, and B, Washington Street between 12th Street North and 315 feet east of 18th Street North.
I'll second.
Question? All those in favor respond by aye, committee?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Item number 3 is review the referral list.
So I have updated the referral list to kind of a clean slate based on our meeting last month. So there's 7 items on that referral list, and we don't have any any further progress on those items at this point.
Could we have number 6 on our next agenda that deals with the apartment complex and the parallel parking? The common council approved the angle parking, but it was the issue of finance of it.
Okay?
So if you could talk to the owner, he can meet with you as to what he has in mind, what you have in mind, and then come, we can talk about it next month, and just put it to bed, whatever happens.
Okay.
We have to, I think, resolve that before spring.
Yeah, we can meet up with Chad.
This isn't on the
Some agreement.
referral list, but in the ordinance, people that are not following ordinances, we have like just pages, this is shaded pages of ordinance concerns with regard to recycling. And I don't know, maybe it went well at first, or maybe because of the snow now, or whatever, how it seems take a lot of, I would assume it takes time for these to be written up, typed, put in here, follow through, closure of it. If we have to educate the public, maybe by having another news article in the local newspaper or something on our cable, but it just seems like, I don't know if you saw the packet, but it's like a whole slew. So maybe there has to be a re-educating of it. Just, I'm looking at it for one thing, first of all, for them to follow the ordinance. But second of all, to save our people's time and money to write all this up and follow through on it. So, something to think about.
So typically, and again, I can't speak for all of the violations on that list, but many of them are what we call frequent flyers, where, you know, there's an issue there. In many cases, in speaking with staff, the information packet that was on the recycling bin is still on the recycling bin. They've never looked at it. And so, you know, we've attempted to try to make notice to those people, try to get them to comply, and this is kind of a last resort, is that it's you know, being looked at as a more formal notice from our code enforcement officer, and if it's not satisfied from there, as a citation for non-compliance.
Can it get, if there's a person that does it frequently, you know, you said none, can it be kick into the nuisance ordinance or not? I don't know the category, I can't remember.
Yeah, no,
That would be something different.
that nuisance ordinance is
Yeah.
for when the police department has to
Yeah.
respond. This is, you know, it's.
Outside of that.
It is, and it's, you know, what we're really trying to accomplish, because we intend to be altering our regular refuse collection to automated, you know, relatively soon, hopefully next year, is to try to enforce this fairly rigorously, so that the education part, enforcement follows the education, and that the public is familiar with how the program works, what the expectations are, in efforts so that when we roll out the recycling or the refuse program, you know, we'll have some changes just because of the way the carts are, and we have to discuss that yet as a committee, but that you know, that the public is being made aware, and they're cognizant of, you know, so we are being fairly aggressive on you know, ensuring that there's some compliance on these. You know, I would anticipate that over time that's going to decrease quite a bit.
I think it's good, but I was just surprised at all.
Yeah.
Why they don't get it, or how to follow it.
And some of these complaints too, it may take quite a while before the ordinance control officer actually gets to get the letter to the property owner,
Right.
and things like that. So it does take time, you know. but-
All right, any other referrals?
So,
All right, then we're item 4, and that's motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor of adjourning, respond by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. We're adjourned at 6:18 PM. Thank you.